Beginning this challenge, I was nervous. I had a limited amount of time to do this, let alone almost every single aspect being brand new to me. I learned with previous farms that fishing brings in a solid income, and I had gotten accustomed to utilizing that when I needed the money. However, for this challenge, I was unable to do so. I slowly came to realize that animals were not going to be my priority, and I needed to maintain focus on crops. So I got to work right away, clearing out my farm as much as I could. Thankfully, they start you off with 15 parsnips before you have to go to Pierre's and buy your own seeds. I personally like to sell a lot of the sap that I get because there's not many things that you really need it for. Part of the challenge involving the Jojamart was a little bit daunting to me because I had absolutely no idea what was going to come of that. I come to find out once you get to the point of being able to choose a path to go and having the money to do so, the Jojamart really just wants your money. I spent a good portion of every single one of my days watering plants. And I know you could get sprinklers, but I did run into some issues with crafting. When it came time to choose a cat, I took forever to pick its name. I landed on the name Casper. By day 10, I had reached level 2 of farming, which was surprisingly quicker than my first save. Planting the beans was kind of a pain because I was unaware of the placement markers. When I discovered how much of a pain the caves were going to be, I did my best to get the resources that I needed, but learned relatively quickly that I was not going to be able to survive in the caves without being able to fight the monsters whatsoever. The museum is one of my favorite and least favorite things to do because while I love contributing to the community, I don't like how much attitude I get from Gunther. I was finally able to get the Jojamart membership, and I was told to come back the next day to figure out what it was. So going over the prices for everything, I knew I had a lot of work to put in to be able to even reach the smallest of the amounts. So I did just that. I like to travel down to the beach every now and then just to see if there was any artifact spots or anything that was not derived from a living thing that I was going to be able to utilize. Some of the rewards I did get from the museum were seeds, which helped me out a ton and saved me money. I accidentally let myself get a little too exhausted, and trying to get back to the house took forever. I did reach level 5 of the mines at one point, and it took a lot of patience. Even though I'm not going to be getting any animals yet, I decided I did need to get some silos in, that way I didn't waste any of the hay that I could potentially get. So I put them on the far left side of the farm. And once I got that built, I did a lot of mowing, which was kind of relaxing in a way. By my 10th day of summer, I was already level 5. When Demetrius came to ask whether I wanted fruit bats in the cave or if I wanted mushrooms in the cave, I decided I wanted to go the mushroom route because usually I choose the fruit bat cave. I did end up getting a second silo pretty quickly just to maintain some of the grass and keep it relatively organized. I did also install a well. I know that there are water sources not too far away from where I'm planting my crops, but I figured having a well a little closer would not hurt. I also truly hated the crows, even when I had scarecrows and fencing. I spruced up my farm a little bit by laying some stone pavers down in the directions of the paths that I would usually take walking about my farm. That went from my house all the way over to Grandpa's shrine, up into the mushroom cave. I was grateful to, at one point, be able to afford 45 wheat seeds and 45 corn seeds. I got the corn in the summer because that is a plant that continuously grows produce. It also lasts throughout the fall, so I figured I'd get a little bit of a head start with getting those planted. I really only had 2 days to complete this challenge due to other life commitments, so I did my best with the time I had. This is roughly what it looks like. I do plan on working on it more, so I completed the first 2 seasons of the year, and from that, I earned a total of 5,223 gold. I maintained level 7 in farming, 3 in mining, and 5 in foraging, 0 in fishing, and 0 in combat, of course. I shipped out 14 forageables, 12 crops, 4 accidental resources, 1 artesian food, and of course 0 fish. I came across 4 different artifacts and 13 minerals. And I also got 2 achievements. Overall, this challenge was a ton of fun, and I'm so glad I was a part of it. I do intend on continuing this farm and seeing how much further I can get before I kind of have no choice in some things, but fingers crossed I don't get there.